Good day everyone, I am Shalami A. Pipito. So this is the continuation of Unit 4, Trends and Issue on Curriculum and Curriculum Development. So we will discuss the challenges in implementing deped curriculum in local. At the end of this topic, learners should be able to identify the challenges faced by local schools and communities in implementing the deped curriculum. Second is analyze the impact of these challenges on the effective implementation of deped curriculum. Next is develop strategies to address these challenges and ensure the effective implementation of the deped curriculum. Last is recognize the importance of community engagement and participation, teachers training and support, and monitoring and evaluation in ensuring the effective implementation of deped curriculum. As we continue to strive for excellence in education, it is essential that we acknowledge the challenges that come with implementing a new curriculum. The Department of Education, or DepEd, efforts to improve the quality of education in the Philippines through the implementation of new curriculum are commendable. However, the success of this endeavor relies heavily on the effective implementation of the curriculum in local level. In this presentation, we will explore the challenges that local schools and communities face in implementing the deped curriculum. We will examine the complexities of curriculum implementation, including the lack of resources, cultural and linguistic diversity, community engagement and participation, and teachers training and support. By understanding these challenges, we can work together to develop strategies that address this issue and ensure that the deped curriculum is implemented effectively in locals. Number 1, lack of resources. Insufficient funding. Local government may not have sufficient funds to support the implementation of the deped curriculum. Limited infrastructures. Local schools may not have the necessary infrastructures such as classroom, libraries, and technologies to support the implementation of the deped curriculum. Shortage of qualified teachers. Local schools may not have enough qualified teachers to implement the deped curriculum effectively. Number 2, cultural and linguistic diversity. Cultural relevance. The deped curriculum may not be culturally relevant to local communities, which may lead to disengagement and lack of motivation among the students. Language barriers. The deped curriculum may be implemented in a language that is not spoken by local communities, which may create barriers to learning. 3 is community engagement and participation. Lack of community involvement. Local communities may not be involved in the development and implementation of the deped curriculum, which may lead to a lack of ownership and support. Limited parental involvement. Parents may not be actively involved in their children's education, which may lead to a lack of support and motivation. Number 4 is curriculum relevance and flexibility. Curriculum relevance. The deped curriculum may not be relevant to local context and need, which may lead to a lack of engagement and motivation among students. Curriculum flexibility. The DepEd curriculum may not be flexible enough to accommodate local needs and context, which may lead to a lack of innovation and creativity. Number 5, teachers training and support. Limited teachers training. Teachers may not receive adequate training and support to implement the DepEd curriculum effectively. Lack of teachers' resources. Teachers may not have access to the necessary resources such as textbook and technologies to implement the DepEd curriculum effectively. Next, number 6, monitoring and evaluation. Limited monitoring and evaluation. The implementation of the DepEd curriculum may not be adequately monitored and evaluated, which may lead to a lack of accountability and improvement. Lack of data-driven decision-making. Data may not be used effectively to inform decision-making and improve the implementation of the DepEd curriculum. Number 7 is community and parental expectation. Unrealistic expectation. Community and parental expectation may be unrealistic, which may lead to disappointment and frustration. Lack of communication. There may be a lack of communication between schools, communities, and parents, which may lead to misunderstanding and mistrust. 8 is local politics and governance. Local politics. Local politics may influence the implementation of the DepEd curriculum, which may lead to inconsistency and inequities. Governance issues such as corruption and inefficient may affect the implementation of the DepEd curriculum, which may lead to a lack of accountability and transparency. In conclusion, implementing the DepEd curriculum in local levels is complex task that require careful consideration of several factors. The challenges of lack of resources, cultural and linguistic diversity, community engagement and participation, teachers training and support, and monitoring and evaluation must be addressed in order to ensure the effective implementation of the curriculum. By understanding these challenges and developing strategies to address them, educators and policies makers can work together to provide high-quality education to all students, regardless of their location or background. Ultimately, the success of DepEd curriculum depends on the ability of local schools and communities to adapt and implement it effectively. So, that's all. Thank you for listening.